Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a legendary chess game, a real classic, and putting it under the microscope.
All right, so the game kicks off pretty flexibly. White plays knight to f3,
Black responds knight to f6,
then pawn to c4 from white.
and pawn to g6 from black. Move 2, g6. That's kind of classic young Fischer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, loved putting that bishop on the long diagonal, g7, fianchettoing. It was all about active pieces for him, even early on.
White continues knight to c3. Black castles kingside, nice and safe.
And then white plays bishop to f4. This is significant because it stops black from playing the king's Indian defense.
Which was one of Fischer's favorites. Yeah.
Exactly. So Byrne is trying to steer the game.
But Fischer, he pivots.
Yeah.
Pawn to d5. He goes straight into the Grinfeld defense. Super sharp.
Right. The Grinfeld basically says, okay, white, you can have this big pawn center for now, but my pieces are coming for it. It's a trade center for activity.
And the pressure comes quick. White plays queen to b3, hits d5, also eyes that b7 pawn.
Black ignores the b7 threat for a moment and plays pawn takes c4. Grabs the center pawn, gains a tempo because white has to recapture.
White does. Queen takes c4.
Now black plays pawn to c6, defends b7.
Okay, first little flag from our modern analysis here. Our engine looks at 7.c6 and calls it somewhat passive.
Yeah, today the recommendation would probably be something like knight to a6 first, getting ready to challenge with pawn to c5 faster.
Interesting. But Byrne doesn't punish it. He just grabs more space. Pawn to e4, he gets that perfect pawn center everyone talks about.
Black develops knight to d7.
Okay, and here's where things start to get, let's say, questionable for white. The engine starts highlighting things.
First, move 9. White plays rook to d1. Supports the center pawn, which seems logical, but the analysis notes say it's not the most useful move. Maybe just castling, getting the king safe would have been better. It's a bit slow.
But the real head scratcher is next, right? Move 10. White plays queen to c5.
Yeah, this one's, bold.
Yeah.
Risky, certainly. Pushing the queen way out there, deep into black's side of the board.
Why is it bad?
Well, it's not losing on the spot, but it makes the queen a target later on. It gives black tactical chances down the line. The engine strongly prefers just retreating the queen back to b3. Keep her safe, keep the options open. qc5 is just a bit ambitious.
And black immediately takes advantage of that exposed queen. Bishop to g4, develops the last minor piece, pins the knight on f3. Nice move.
And now comes the first big error from white. Move 11, bishop to g5. Our engine flags this $2 mistake.
A $2 mistake. Okay. So that means white's advantage, whatever he thought he had, takes a miserable hit.
Exactly. The move just doesn't achieve anything concrete, and crucially, it leaves the bishop on g5 completely undefended. It basically hands the initiative, the momentum, over to Fischer.
And Fischer pounces. Move 11. Knight to a4. A 3 brilliant move. Bam.
It's stunning. Just looks like it comes out of nowhere. It attacks the knight on c3.
Which is the key defender of that central e4 pawn, right?
Precisely. It forces white's hand immediately.
And this is the moment people apparently felt in the room. There's that famous quote from Hans Kruk.
Oh yeah, a murmur went through the tournament hall.
And the kibitzers gathered around Fischer's board, like fish in a frozen lake around a hole in the ice. Just imagine being there.
Yeah.
A 13-year-old makes this move and everyone just knows something big is happening.
So Byrne has to react. He retreats the queen to a3.
Why not just take the knight on a4? Seems like a free piece.
But it's not free at all. If white plays 12, knight takes a4, then black plays 12, knight takes e4.
Hitting the queen on a3 and the undefended bishop on g5.
Exactly. Black wins material right back, probably more, and his position is way better. King's safer, better structure. Byrne saw that.
Okay, so Fischer continues the plan. Knight takes c3, removes that key defender.
White has to recapture, pawn takes c3.
And now Fischer cracks the center wide open. 13. Knight takes e4. Engine calls this a $1 great find.
He sacrifices his own pawn on e7 just to open the e-file for his rooks. It's all about activity.
Byrne tries to grab material while he can. Bishop takes e7, forks the black queen, and rook. Looks dangerous for black.
But Fischer's calculation is deep. He just calmly moves the queen out of the way. Queen to b6. Sidesteps the fork and immediately creates new threats against f2. He's not worried about the temporary material loss.
Okay, Byrne develops his last piece. Bishop to c4. Standard developing move.
And Fischer replies, wait for it, 15. Knight takes c3. Another $1 great find. Another knight sacrifice.
Wow. Okay, what's the idea this time?
It blows open the e-file completely. Now black is threatening to play rook to e8, check, and win the bishop pinned on e7. It's getting very tactical.
White tries to parry, bishop to c5. This move defends the e-file, stops rook to e8 for a second, but it also attacks black's queen on b6 again.
Right, and this must have been the moment where Byrne thought, okay, maybe the kid finally slipped up. He missed this attack on his queen.
Nope. Fischer ignores the threat to his queen and plays rook to e8 check, activates the rook with tempo.
White has only one legal move. King to f1, forced.
And now, the move that makes this game immortal. 17. Bishop to e6. A three-stroke brilliant move, the big one.
This is just mind-blowing. Look at the board. Black's queen on b6 is attacked by the bishop on c5. Black's knight on c3 is attacked. And Fischer plays bishop to e6, attacking white's bishop on c4 and just leaving both his queen and knight hanging.
It looks completely insane. What must Byrne have been thinking facing this 13-year-old? It looks like random chaos.
But it's calculated chaos. Byrne has a choice, a terrible choice. If he plays 18, bishop takes the bishop on e6.
Which seems natural. Trade off the attacking piece.
He walks right into a beautiful smothered mate sequence. It starts 18, queen to b5 check, king has to move, then knight check start, e2 plus sec, ng3 plus egg, eventually qf1 plus 8 sf1, e2 check. It's a force mate. Byrne had to see at least some of that.
Wow. So he can't take the bishop.
Right. So he thinks, okay, I can't take the bishop. I guess I'll take the queen. He plays 18. Bishop takes b6. He takes the queen.
Believing he's weathered the storm, maybe.
Maybe. But he's walked into the second trap. Fischer plays 18. Bishop takes c4 check.
And the storm begins. This is the start of the windmill, right?
Exactly. The windmill is this specific tactic where the bishop on c4 controls the squares the king wants to go to, allowing the knight to shuttle back and forth, delivering check after check and gobbling up material.
Okay, let's run through it quickly. White king is forced to g1.
Black plays knight to e2 check.
King forced back to f1.
Knight takes d4 check. Wins a pawn, still checking.
King forced back to g1.
Knight to e2 check again.
King forced back to f1.
Knight to c3 check. Now hitting the rook on d1 as well.
White king must go back to g1 again. This is relentless.
And now, after all those checks, Fischer plays 23. Pawn takes b6, another $1 great fine. He captures the bishop that took his queen, and it also attacks the white queen on a3. The rook on d1 is still hanging too.
So Fischer gave up his queen. But look what he got. He's about to win Byrne's queen, or at least a rook, and he's already ticked off a bishop and a pawn during the windmill. The material is roughly balanced, but White's king is totally exposed.
White is reeling. He plays queen to b4, trying one last trick, attacking both the knight on c3 and the bishop on c4. A double attack.
But Fischer's got it all covered. 24. Rook to a4. Another $1 great find. Defends the bishop, attacks the queen, keeps the pressure on. Just solid.
White has to save the queen. Queen takes b6, grabbing a pawn back.
And now Fischer collects the loose piece. 25. Knight takes d1. Wins the rook.
Okay, let's quickly tally up. Black now has 2 rooks, 2 bishops, and an extra pawn. White has a queen, a knight, and a rook. Materially, it's maybe slightly in Black's favor if you count points, but...
Positionally, it's completely crushing, isn't it?
Yeah.
White's king is still stuck in the middle, and look at that white rook over on h1. It hasn't moved the entire game. It's completely out of play.
Totally useless. The game is decided here. The rest is just technique.
Yeah, the shock and awe part is over. Now it's just Fischer showing flawless endgame conversion. Let's wrap it up quickly.
White tries 26. Pawn to h3, maybe to make space for the king.
Black activates the other rook. Rook takes a2.
27. King to h2, knight takes f2. More material.
28. Rook to e1, trying to trade.
Black obliges. Rook takes e1.
29. Queen to d8 check.
Bishop blocks on f8.
30. Knight takes e1, recapturing.
Black centralizes. Bishop to d5.
31. Knight to f3.
Knight to e4. Every black piece is perfectly placed.
White is just tangled up. Fischer now locks down the position completely. 2 more little $1 great finds from the engine.
32. Pawn to b5. Just clamps down on the queen side. No counterplay there.
And then 33. Pawn to h5. Same idea on the king side. Locks everything down before the final push. Total control.
Yep. Consolidation complete. The rest is forcing the mate.
34. Knight to e5. King to g7. Just improving the king.
35. King to e1. Bishop to c5 check.
36. King to e1. Bishop to b3 check. Closing the net.
39. King to c1. Knight to e2 check.
40. King to b1, knight to c3 check. Setting up the final blow.
41. King to c1 and rook to c2 checkmate.
Game over. What a masterpiece. Hashtag tag outro.
Just incredible, a truly immortal game. Well, if you enjoyed this deep dive into chess history and AI analysis,
Then make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel Chess Explained by AI for more like this. We'll catch you on the next one.